Hello and welcome to part 2 of this Tinkercad resource. In this part we are going to be focusing on grouping of solids to create more complex solids. Topics which will be explored in this part are grouping solids, ungrouping solids, rotation of solids, manipulating the workplane, importing files, exporting designs and sending designs to other users. And just to highlight that in this part we will be referencing a CPD booklet which can be found in the top of this Microsoft form through a link or through the PDF that you accessed all this support and resource from. Okay, so in this video what we are going to be looking at is the group and ungroup command. So we've looked at the basics in part 1, so now we're going to look at some of the more intermediate commands. First of all, I'm going to drag out a box and just do a general showing you how this command works. So just going to take something very random here. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a box out here. Just going to make it a cube. Just again highlight some of the commands that we looked at in the previous video. And what I want to do, I'm going to add in a cylinder. So I'm just going to add in a cylinder, and first of all just going to make it slightly bigger. It's going to rotate around, and what I want to do is I want these parts to move together. So I'm after moving them away. What you can do here, just another command, is the undo command. So I highlight both objects. Now I don't have to highlight all of the object. If I just go over any space that they're in, it will highlight, and you can see now that this command up here has highlighted, which is the group command. So the hotkey there underneath is Control and G. So I'm just going to group these two. The first thing you'll see when you group two objects together is they go to a single color. So I'm just going to bring it back here to a multicolor, like so. And that's the group command. What we can do then as well, we can do ungroup. So if I wanted to take these apart, I would go beside the group command, and now you can see that the ungroup command is available. So I'm going to click that, and now these two parts are separated again. You can also see that you have a solid, but you can also make a hole, and what the hole does is it actually removes material. So I can take the same approach here. I'm just going to move that to the slide to the side. If I highlight both objects and I go group, I'm going to take away that material. If I highlight the objects again and I go ungroup, well then I'm going to separate them again, and I can move away my parts. So that's the group and ungroup command. The challenge that we're going to be looking at this first part of the video can be found in the booklet. The first page here is just for any notes that you may have. On the second page you will find your challenges. Just to highlight that the challenges go from challenge 1 to challenge 3 and then back to challenge 2. The reason for that is that challenge 2 is across 2 A4 pages, so I just felt that it might be a bit easier to, if you were printing this out to do a bit of sketching, that it would be easier if they were on the same pages. So we're just going to start here with challenge 1. So what the question here is to create a similar solid to the image shown below, so we can use our own dimensions. So we're going to be grouping and ungrouping. Now I'm just going to work through this. So I know what the object looks like, so I've modeled it a number of times. So first of all, you have a kind of a rectangular base prism in one part, and then you also have a cylinder. I'm just going to keep my dimensions here 35 by 35. Again, the dimensions here don't matter, we can use our own. Make that 50, and I'm going to interact these two together here. Okay, so proportions look slightly off. Okay, that's a bit better, happy with that. So I'm going to select them over, and I'm going to go to my group command, which is up here, and again I'm just going to keep my color. So I'm going to go to multicolor. There's also a hole cut through the center, so we are going to use a polygon, and this is a new shape that we haven't looked at before. You can see there that the polygon can be defined here by the sides. If you go down to 5 and you're looking at a pentagon, 6 hectagon, 7 septagon, octagon, and so on. So I'm just going to go with an octagon, and I want to cut a hole through the center here, so I'm just going to create the hole. Now I want to place it in the middle to make it a bit easier to see where I'm going. I'm just going to make sure I'm in orthographic, which I am. I'm going to go to the top, and I'm going to use the snap grid, which is the directional pad, just to line it up. Happy enough with that. In a later video we're going to see how you can get it accurately in the center, but for this part we're just going to use the snap grid. Just going to group in. So I'm now, after taking a cut through it like so, the very last thing is I want to take a section off the front. Now this combines a number of commands that we've looked at already. You can do it a number of ways. I'm just going to do it using the box command here. I'm going to drop it out, and again, it doesn't really matter the shape or the size of it because it's going to be a hole. So I'm going to make that a hole. I'm going to look from the front, and I'm going to raise it up off the horizontal, and I'm going to bring it out at an angle like 45 degrees is fine, something like that. And again, all I want to do is just make a cut. I don't really, not really too worried about exactly what the cut is. I'm just going to make a cut. So I think I have it there. I'm going to group both of everything that's there, and I'm going to group it, and that should give me my cut. Just two features here while I'm working with the software. The work plane can be moved to different positions, and this is quite a nice feature. You can see there I'm after dropping it on the surface of the front solid. I can also drop it on the inclined surface here. Again, that's just a very nice visual when the plane is like that. And I can drop it back down again. A recently added feature in Tinkercad is the notes feature. I'm just going to illustrate this here as well, that if I want to just highlight that that was an inclined plane, that this would be quite a nice feature, quite a nice way to do it. So you can highlight your note there, and that's an inclined plane used there. Okay, so that is the steps how to go through challenge number 1, which is in the next question. So I'd encourage you to go and look at challenge 1 from the booklet, and if you're having any trouble, come back here and look at the video, and it will walk you through it again.